Welcome to today's video about SC-200 Microsoft Security Operations Analyst Exam Prep. What is SC-200 Microsoft Security Operations Analyst Exam? Who should pursue this certification? Key information regarding the SC-200 certification exam. Overview of the primary exam domains. Key steps for comprehensive exam preparation. 1. You need to recommend a solution to meet the technical requirements for the Azure virtual machines. What should you include in the recommendation? A. Just-in-time, JIT, access. B. Azure Defender. C. Azure Firewall. D. Azure Application Gateway. 2. You need to complete the query for failed sign-ins to meet the technical requirements. Where can you find the column name to complete the where clause? A. Security alerts in Azure Security Center. B. Activity log in Azure. C. Azure Advisor. D. The query windows of the Log Analytics workspace. 3. You need to implement the Azure Information Protection requirements. What should you configure first? A. Device Health and Compliance Reports settings in Microsoft Defender Security Center. B. Scanner clusters in Azure Information Protection from the Azure portal. C. Content scan jobs in Azure Information Protection from the Azure portal. D. Advanced features from settings in Microsoft Defender Security Center. 4. You need to assign a role-based access control, RBAC, role to Admin 1 to meet the Azure Sentinel requirements and the business requirements. Which role should you assign? A. Automation Operator. B. Automation Runbook Operator. C. Azure Sentinel Contributor. D. Logic App Contributor. 5. You need to restrict cloud apps running on Client 1 to meet the Microsoft Defender for endpoint requirements. Which two configurations should you modify? Each correct answer present part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. The onboarding settings from device management in Microsoft Defender Security Center. B. Cloud App Security Anomaly Detection Policies. C. Advanced features from settings in Microsoft Defender Security Center. D. The Cloud Discovery settings in Cloud App Security. 6. You create an Azure subscription. You enable Azure Defender for the subscription. You need to use Azure Defender to protect on-premises computers. What should you do on the on-premises computers? A. Install the Log Analytics agent. B. Install the dependency agent. C. Configure the hybrid runbook worker role. D. Install the connected machine agent. 7. You create a custom analytics rule to detect threats in Azure Sentinel. You discover that the rule fails intermittently. What are two possible causes of the failures? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. The rule query takes too long to run and times out. B. The target workspace was deleted. C. Permissions to the data sources of the rule query were modified. D. There are connectivity issues between the data sources and log analytics. 8. You receive an alert from Azure Defender for Key Vault. You discover that the alert is generated from multiple suspicious IP addresses. You need to reduce the potential of Key Vault secrets being leaked while you investigate the issue. The solution must be implemented as soon as possible and must minimize the impact on legitimate users. What should you do first? A. Modify the access control settings for the Key Vault. B. Enable the Key Vault firewall. C. Create an application security group. D. Modify the access policy for the Key Vault. 9. You recently deployed Azure Sentinel. You discover that the default Fusion rule does not generate any alerts. You verify that the rule is enabled. You need to ensure that the Fusion rule can generate alerts. What should you do? A. Disable, and then enable the rule. B. Add data connectors. C. Create a new machine learning analytics rule. D. Add a hunting bookmark. 10. You have an Azure Sentinel deployment in the East US Azure region. You create a log analytics workspace named Logs West in the West US Azure region. You need to ensure that you can use scheduled analytics rules in the existing Azure Sentinel deployment to generate alerts based on queries to Logs West. What should you do first? A. Deploy Azure Data Catalog to the West US Azure region. B. Modify the workspace settings of the existing Azure Sentinel deployment. C. Add Microsoft Sentinel to a workspace. D. Create a data connector in Azure Sentinel. Check the correct answers for each question. Subscribe Passert for more IT exam prep.